My name is SelenaHarris, and I'm a parent consultant at the Utah Parent Center. This is my son, Paul.
Paul.
It's Paul. And we're going to talk a little bit about what has happened with Paul since he transitioned from school life to adult life. When Paul was 22, he aged out of the education system, and he didn't have any services in place. So we worked a lot on independent living skills, things like making his own breakfast. So we worked a lot on making a burrito. At first, I think everybody was afraid that he couldn't touch a stove. Through repetition, a lot of repetition, what did you learn to make for breakfast in the morning? A burrito. And he makes it every single morning, and it's his art now. His burrito is an art form now. Art making. And then another thing that we worked on with Paul to help prepare him for the future and living on his own someday, and another thing that he's pretty fascinated with is the laundry. Do you like doing laundry?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of his favorite things to do. And in order to help him learn how to do that, he was really fascinated by the washing machine and the dryer. And I was trying to teach him how to set it to do his own laundry, and it just, no matter how many times I repeated it, he wasn't getting it. So then I went and got stickers to where this is what the water temperature is, this is where you put, you turn this dial to where it goes right here, and then you pull the button and it starts. And also the same thing for the time on the dryer. Ever since then, I've never had to do any of Paul's laundry, and he actually collects all the towels so that he can do them. And we actually found out he was taking clean clothes out of his closet to do extra laundry because he loves it so much. Do you love laundry?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
And whenever we're at the grocery store, because Paul a lot of times doesn't have a lot of verbal communication, but he still communicates very well. So we were at the grocery store, and he was trying to tell me we needed something, and I kept saying, "Now what? What do we need?" And he kept repeating the same sound, and it wasn't a sound I was familiar with to know that was what he was talking about.
Yes.
So he goes, and I'm like, "Oh, laundry soap. We need laundry soap, huh?" You tell Mom?
Yeah.
That we need? Yep. So after Paul graduated, like I said, he didn't have any services in place. So for about a year, I was trying to get things in place for him, and nothing was really going forward. So because my background was in supported employment, I just decided to hit the road and see if I couldn't help Paul find a job. And I just started on State Street in front of our house and ended up about 4 cities away before somebody said yes. And now Paul has been working. They hired Paul to work at, where do you work? What's the name of it? Wendy's?
Yeah.
Yes? Do you like it?
Yes.
Yes, he does. He loves it. He's been there 2 years now. And he was actually promoted, I tell him, because when we first started, they're like, well, we'll let him work there a couple of times a week. And then about 7 months ago, his boss asked if he could come in and work another day. I was like, so he has really proven his value to them. I just thought that was awesome. But a couple other things that I think help get him through work is the fact, because he does have a communication barrier, we have just taught him always to be very friendly. If people, if people are looking at him, for example, kids or just people who are curious, Paul just thinks that they're waiting for him to introduce himself. So he just goes up and is like, hi, gives them a high five, and then all of the awkwardness is kind of not there. So as far as him doing his job at work, what do you do at work?
Garbage.
Garbage, yeah.
Garbage.
You do the garbage. Remember, we learned the sign for garbage.
Garbage.
Yeah. And what else do you do?
Table.
Tables. That's wipe off the tables. And then what else?
Garbage.
And garbage. What about sweep?
Garbage.
You sweep the floor too?
Yes.
Do you do a good job at Wendy's?
Yeah.
And he never misses work. This kid just had heart surgery, about 2.5 weeks ago, and he was just coming out of anesthesia and asking me when he could go back to work. Right?
Yes.
And did you go back yesterday?
Yeah.
They were happy, I'll bet.
Yes.
So another thing that I also taught him at work was if somebody came up and asked him a question and he didn't know the answer to, I've made sure that he knew how to direct questions to the people who could answer the questions or answer their that could help them. let's see, what else do we, so he uses a paratransit to get to and from work because both I and my boyfriend work, and so Paul had to learn to get up on his own and go and get onto the bus, and the bus is going to be there at a certain time. So that is something that we had a little hiccup with in the beginning. Paul was so excited to start a job that even though I had his alarm set for when he should wake up and get ready for work, by the time I got up, he had eaten, he had showered, he had his uniform on, and he was standing by the door with his backpack ready. So I would just, when I left, I would be like, okay, Paul, you just need to watch out this window and you'll be able to see when your bus comes. Well, I don't know what time this poor kid got up to get ready for work. It could have been 4 a.m. But by the time he would sit there, watch the window, and eventually he fell asleep, and I'd get a call from Wendy's that he didn't come to work that day, and so I'd hurry and run home from work and run him over there and then go pick him back up. He had a smartphone, and we tried to set an alarm that way to show him that, you know, that's when that alarm goes off, that's when the bus will be there. And he would, the alarm would go off, and he'd just look at it and be like, that silly phone, and put it back in his pocket. He just didn't make the connection, right? So then I got a regular alarm clock. We put it in the front room by the window where he watches, and I printed out an exact picture of the bus that comes to his house. And so when the alarm, and it took a couple of times of us, you know, working with him, making sure we were there when the alarm went off. So when the alarm went off, we're like, the bus. And then he goes outside, no matter whether the bus is there or not. He just stands outside because it's a 30-minute waiting period, and waits for his bus. We had a little bit of another trouble, but we had a little bit of difficulty also on the return home because Paul doesn't have a very good understanding of time. So he didn't know when he was supposed to clock out, and then he was getting no-shows because his bus would come to pick him up, and he didn't know that they were there to pick him up, so then they wait 5 minutes and they would leave. So I talked to the, not the dispatcher at the main UTA office, but we live in Utah County, and I talked to the gentleman who's over all of the bus drivers in Provo. And I explained our problem, and I said, Paul's cue to leave is when he sees the bus. Is there any way that your driver could park somewhere that he can see it? And as soon as he sees him, he clocks out and he's out there. And I was really impressed because the gentleman came out to Paul's work site, looked around, decided of a place that his drivers could agree to park, and now Paul has never had another no-show. I mean, he's probably their most reliable employee. He's friendly. You say hi to everybody. There's a high school next door, so I know a lot of the high schoolers look forward to coming over and giving Paul a high five, right? When you see him, you're like, hey, Paul, are they your buddy? They're your friends? Good. Do you like going to work?
No.
You don't like going to work? You do? Okay. Oh, good. I'm glad you do, because he goes every day, so I'd be surprised. I think he likes it a lot. And it doesn't really matter what situation he's in, he can always, even if he's not quite understanding what somebody's asking him, he does a really good job of reading their body language and getting them to where they need to be from there, even if it's not quite where they were, but he's getting them in the right way. He's very good at reading somebody's body language, I think. And if he's not sure, he'll just say yes or no until he hits the right answer. Right? Okay, good. I don't know, is there anything else you want to say, Paul? What do you want to talk about?
You
want to say hi?
Yeah.
Good, I'm glad.